I'm frightened to finally realize through science, through evidence, that consciousness might be just a mechanical process. Because for me, this idea of it's something magical, it's something above us, gives spark to life. So my question is, what are the benefits for you, Anil, that if we unveil what consciousness truly is? What may come in my personal life out of that idea?
This is a very important question. It's not asked often enough, I think. And I think it's admirable of you to put it out there very transparently, that the idea that there might be a scientific explanation of consciousness could be somehow threatening. It's something to be a little bit frightened of, because if then what are we? If there's no mystery anymore, then do we not just sort of dissolve in our importance to ourselves and the world? I just don't think that's likely to happen. And there are several reasons for that. Well, firstly, it's not a good motivation on which to base what you think about how to explain consciousness. The idea that preserving mystery as a good thing should not guide our scientific thinking or philosophical thinking in ways that sort of attempt to preserve that mysterious nature. So here, things that sort of still appeal to dualism or even panpsychism in a way, I think are a bit guilty of that. But having an explanation of consciousness and of self that makes these things explicable in terms of mechanisms, for me, that's a positive thing. At least I think it will be a positive thing at the end of that road. Already it's a positive thing. In the history of science, there have been many examples in which an initial resistance to explaining something based on the idea that it would be threatening to how we see ourselves, maybe as a species, maybe as individuals, it never really turns out that way. So you think about, we've always, as humans, we've always tended to want to preserve something special and distinct, something outside of nature in order to feel good about ourselves. So we were at the center of the universe, and then Copernicus showed that we were not at the center of the universe. This was threatening to some people, for sure. It was certainly threatening to the religious authorities of the time. But I think you might agree that having the perspective on the universe that we now have, it's so much grander and awe-inspiring than it was when it was just a few planets rotating around us at the center.
Yes.
And the same thing you could say with Darwin, that the idea that we are related to all other animals, we share characteristics, both physical and mental, with other animals. Again, that's a threat to the idea that we're somehow apart from nature. But again, the picture of life on Earth that Darwin has given us, and Wallace and others, is so much richer than the anthropocentric, human-centric alternative. Why should it be any different with consciousness? I think once we understand how our conscious lives are woven into the tapestry of nature, that will empower us, not reduce us.
Wow.